12 to the Moon, released in 1960 and directed by David Bradley, is a science fiction film that dares to tackle the excitement of space exploration, only to land somewhere between tedious and unintentionally amusing. With the space race heating up and the moon still a distant dream, the film attempts to blend drama, international cooperation, and the perils of extraterrestrial life. But instead of soaring to thrilling heights, 12 to the Moon stumbles under the weight of its lackluster execution and meandering plot. The premise is simple enough. 12 astronauts from various countries embark on an international expedition to the moon. It's a commendable vision of global unity, although, in true 1960s fashion, the portrayal of these various nationalities is about as nuanced as a comic strip. Everyone speaks in thick, sometimes absurd accents, making sure we never forget which country they represent. There's the brooding Frenchman, the no-nonsense American captain, the stubborn Russian, and a smattering of other cliches. For a movie that's supposed to celebrate cooperation, it somehow manages to make the characters feel like walking stereotypes. Once on the moon,
Captain Anderson speaking. Reporting successful landing on moon.
Things go from odd to downright bizarre. Our intrepid astronauts discover a race of telepathic, invisible moon beings who communicate through symbols in the lunar dust. They're none too pleased with humanity's arrival and issue a firm, "Stay off my lawn" warning. To demonstrate their seriousness, these moon entities freeze Earth's atmosphere and oceans, threatening to end life on the planet if the astronauts don't return home immediately. And just like that, what was once a space exploration movie veers sharply into Cold War paranoia, with humanity's future hanging in the balance. One of the film's more unintentionally hilarious aspects is how little time the astronauts spend actually exploring the moon. Most of the runtime consists of long, drawn-out scenes of dialogue, astronauts sitting around, delivering exposition, or debating their next steps. For a film about a moon landing, you'd expect more awe-inspiring visuals or thrilling lunar discoveries. But 12 to the Moon manages to make the moon seem almost as dull as a barren rock. Then there's the special effects, which, even by 1960 standards, are underwhelming. The lunar surface is clearly a soundstage covered in what looks like sand, and the spaceship interior is essentially a metal box with blinking lights. There's a certain charm to the low-budget nature of these sets and effects, but they don't exactly scream futuristic space travel. It's as if the filmmakers spent all their money on getting 12 actors in one room and forgot they'd also need to build, the moon. The film tries to inject some interpersonal drama among the astronauts, but it falls flat. The characters, though numerous, are never developed beyond their national stereotypes. Any tension between them feels contrived, and the occasional romantic subplots come out of nowhere and serve no real purpose. The crew might as well be 12 cardboard cutouts for all the emotional depth they bring to the story. If there's one positive takeaway from 12 to the Moon, it's the ambition behind it. The film clearly aspires to be more than a simple space adventure. It aims to explore themes of international unity, humanity's place in the universe, and the ethics of exploration. The moon creature's warning about the dangers of human aggression could be read as a Cold War allegory, a call for cooperation in an era defined by global conflict. Unfortunately, these themes are buried beneath clunky dialogue and an unfocused plot, leaving the film more tedious than thought-provoking. In the end, 12 to the Moon is a relic of an era when space exploration was still a fantasy, but one that fails to capture the wonder and excitement of that fantasy. Its heart is in the right place, but the execution leaves much to be desired. For fans of retro sci-fi or those curious about early cinematic depictions of moon landings, it might be worth a watch. But for most viewers, it's likely to feel as empty and lifeless as the moon itself.